Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so now that we know what's going on in the NBA playoff picture, I just want to talk a little bit about it. I don't know if these are going to be my official predictions. I just want to let my mind run. And I will admit, I haven't done homework on the Eastern Conference very much, so I'm kind of just winging it and kind of basing a lot of what I know on very loose information and loose understanding. So if I don't know what I'm talking about, know that I'm an expert on the Lakers, and that's kind of what the expertise is really about over here with this brain. But I try to follow the league very closely, as you guys have followed me for years. You know that, so I'm just gonna just let my mind run and see what happens in regards to these games. But first of all, I want to talk about the East matchup, the play-in tournament 10-9 matchup, and we'll just kind of skate around. That's Chicago Bulls and Atlanta. The thing that concerns me about that game is that neither one of these teams are really reliable. You got the Chicago Bulls on one hand, who've had a great year with Kobe White. I think they're fully healthy, and they could be a dangerous team if that's the case. Obviously, when you say fully healthy, that means no Lonzo Ball. You're not even considering him. But based on what it is they've been all season, DeMar DeRozan, no Zach LaVine, so how healthy can we really say they are? But based on what they've had all season, I do expect for them to have a continuity advantage on the Atlanta Hawks, because Trae Young just got back 3 games ago, and they ain't really been playing well with him back. In a one-game situation, and mind you, I believe this game is in Chicago, but I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe this game is in Chicago. In a one-game situation with the Chicago Bulls having the home court, it's one thing that I'm looking at is that center position, and that's Drummond. I don't know if he's come back from his ankle injury, which concerns me. And Vucevic. He's gonna have to play very well in this series, because they're gonna be going up against some guys in Atlanta that are big and tough, man. You're talking about Clint Capella, who's really had an underrated season all year long, rebounds the ball extremely well, and then you're looking at the backup that they have there. What's this guy's name? My mind's going blank on him. Onyeka Okongwu. He's somebody that you need to take very seriously, and they have another guy back there too that I think is very serious. Obviously, names have escaped me, but the point is, I think the Atlanta Hawks are coming through with some size. You're talking about Jalen Johnson in a one-game situation. You're talking about a battle of who I think should be considered for most improved in Jalen Johnson and Kobe White. Those are the front runners for me. It could come down to whoever has a better game between the two of them. Now, DeJounte Murray's been clutch all season long, hitting last game shots and things like that. Just really, really playing well. He had a stretch where he was unbelievable near the middle of the season. Trae Young is back, so that kind of slips him back to a more secondary role. And then I look over at DeMar DeRozan, how clutch he's been all season. It could be a situation where you're wondering how close the game could be, and down the stretch of that game, it could be a dogfight. Alex Caruso. This is a one-game situation where it could go. It's a toss-up, man. I wouldn't be surprised of any outcome. I really wouldn't. It could be a blowout either way. It could be a close game, overtime, last-second buzzer shot. I really think this game could literally be all over the place. If they had to play it 7 times, they'd probably go all 7. And in a one-game situation, I'm of the mindset that there's no real good answer in this situation. It's a toss-up. I think it's a coin flip. But if Drummond ain't healthy, I really do wonder if Atlanta's just going to have the rebounding edge. And in a situation like that, I'm going to pick the Atlanta Hawks to win that game, man. I am. It's tough. I don't really love betting against DeMar DeRozan in this situation. Kobe White's been amazing all year long. But, again, it's a coin flip, and I'm just rolling with whatever comes to mind. This ain't nothing expertise about it. I'm just going to say Atlanta wins that game and takes the 7th seed. Oh no, moves on to the eighth seed situation. That should be an eighth seed game where they would play the winner of Philadelphia and Miami. Now we slip over to Philadelphia, Miami, and that game is dangerous for both teams because obviously Miami has their continuity going on. They've added a piece this season in Jaime Jaquez, and although they've lost some key pieces, this is still the Miami Heat, and it's still playoff time. And you know they're going to play better now than they would in a situation during the regular season. Here's the thing, though. Joel Embiid, is he healthy? Because if he's healthy and 100%, Philadelphia is a more capable basketball club than Miami right now. If he's not 100% and he's hobbling around, you got to look at the elevated possibilities of the Miami Heat and seeing them move past the Philadelphia 76ers. Philadelphia has some role players that, you know, are try hard. They play good defense. They got Maxey, who's a player who can really go. You know, Tobias Harris had a down year all year long. You don't really trust him this season. It hasn't been, you know, his numbers are cool, but I don't think Philadelphia fans have been very pleased with him this year. And they're really Joel Embiid reliant, man. They go as Joel takes him in this situation. Problem is, he has to go up against Bam. And while I would not disrespect Joel healthy and say that Bam's going to slow him down, because he probably wouldn't, if he's not healthy, going up against Bam is a massive problem for a guy like Joel Embiid. Because Bam's going to push him around. He's an excellent defender. He's going to rebound the ball. It could be a nightmare. I also understand that both of these teams would much rather not play the Boston Celtics in the first round, and whoever loses this game would be facing the winner of the Chicago versus Hawks game. Of course, in my scenario, it's the Hawks, and whoever wins that game plays the Celtics. You don't want to lose this game if you're the Philadelphia 76ers or the Miami Heat. You definitely do not want to lose this game. So for me, given that this game is in Philadelphia, I do find myself a bit concerned. You got Kyle Lowry on the Philadelphia side, who played for the Miami Heat for the last couple of years. That could be a thing. Obviously, these are two fantastic coaches. Of course, the coaching edge goes to Spoelstra, but Nick Nurse has done a really good job weathering the storm while Joel has been out. Philadelphia has been winning as of late. I think they're probably on like a 7 or 8 game winning streak last I checked. I don't think they've lost a game since that streak has been going. They didn't lose today. I am inclined to lean toward Philadelphia continuing to win. Now, I know Jimmy's going to have a lot to say about that. Obviously, they got, you know, a newfound point guard situation down there, getting homie from the Charlotte Hornets. You know, his name escapes me for some strange reason, but he's a heavy hitter. Definitely somebody you don't want to toy around with. Yeah, this could be a very dangerous matchup for the Philadelphia 76ers, but obviously you got Tyrese Maxey, who hasn't been hurt in months, which means he's in rare form right now. I would not be surprised if he has a massive game. Man, it's a toss-up, bro. I'm telling y'all, it's a toss-up. Joel is going to be a problem for the Miami Heat if he's down there. I expect that he will be down there. Even a hobbled Joel, the way he's been playing lately, it's almost like he never left. And if he's inclined to play that well, I'm inclined to believe he's going to win that game. With Bam down there being a problem, Jimmy's going to have to be elevated Jimmy. And while I trust Jimmy in a 7-game series, in a 1-game situation, it may not necessarily have that effect. Both teams are going to be playing for their lives. I think Miami has a slightly more talented rest of team, but the best player on the floor is going to be Joel Embiid. And so my gut tells me to take Philadelphia in this game, though I'm not underestimating Miami at all. At all. And would, in this scenario, pick them to beat the Atlanta Hawks rather easily. And go on, play the Boston Celtics as the 8th seed. And I like that scenario personally because I don't think the Celtics necessarily wants to see the Heat. I don't think you want to go up against Spoelstra if you're Missoula. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that series is going to go as easily as Celtics would like it to go. They probably would win that series, but I think that thing could go the distance. But Philadelphia, Philadelphia winning this game means they avoid the Celtics. They go on to play the Knicks. And, we will assess that if that were to be the scenario. It's a lot of different moving parts before we get to that point. But the Knicks versus Philadelphia depends on Joel. If Joel's healthy, the Knicks are in trouble. If Joel's not healthy, the Sixers are in trouble. And I kind of look at it like that. But the Knicks are a dangerous basketball team, as we know. So avoiding the Celtics doesn't necessarily mean you're getting an easy game series against the Knicks if you're either one of these teams. But I'm gonna pick the Philadelphia 76ers to beat the Miami Heat in the 7-game play-in matchup. Now let's skip over to the Western Conference. I'm not going to talk about Orlando and Cleveland as of yet. I don't know if I'll get to that in this video. I kind of just want to stick around with the play-in tournament games. Just kind of try to make some sense of it from that way. But there are some things to talk about over there in the East we'll get back to another time, maybe even in this video. I don't know how I feel. But in the Western Conference, of course, you're talking about the 9-10 matchup, which is the Sacramento Kings hosting the Golden State Warriors. Now, I've been on the record telling you guys that I think the Warriors are going to win this game. Nothing has changed. I think the Golden State Warriors are a slightly better basketball team. They obviously have the same record. And with Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter not being out there, it's hard for me to see the Sacramento Kings matching the Golden State Warriors' firepower. Now, the Golden State Warriors have underachieved in single basketball games all season long. Bad rotations, horrible shooting nights from stars. Anything like that is possible with this Golden State Warrior team. However, I really do like the others of the Golden State Warriors, and I really do like them in a back-against-the-wall situation. And they are a much better team on the road than they've been at home this season, which is ironic because they were a terrible team at home last season. Or rather, a great team on their home last season and a terrible team on the road. I think that's how that went. It's flipped, I believe. Nevertheless, you like them better on the road this year. And Steph Curry, man, I like De'Aaron Fox. He's one of the most clutch players in basketball. Sabonis is going to have a triple-double in that game. You can book that. Keegan Murray is capable of doing some big things. So if he gets going, it could create a real problem for the Golden State Warriors. But I like the Warriors others, man. I have all season long the Wiggins and Podziemskis and Jackson Davis of the world. Moses Moody, if he gets minutes. I really like this team, man. Draymond Green in this situation, you obviously have to wonder if he's going to do something to get himself kicked out of the game. But you also have to wonder if he's going to get hot from behind the arc because he's been shooting the 3-ball well this season, especially against my Lakers where he went 5 for 5 in the first half. You just have to love the experience of the Golden State Warriors in this game. They beat the Sacramento Kings last year in this scenario, if I'm not mistaken. They saw them in a playoff situation of some sort. I think it was an entire series. Golden State won, I believe it was. And in a one-game situation, I like the Golden State Warriors with their back against the wall. You tell them the Golden State Warriors, a team that has 4 championships to their name and several more NBA Finals appearances, that they have a one-and-done situation against a team that they don't even have to take a flight to get to. I just don't see the Golden State Warriors losing the game. I think their experience and their overall talent should push over the hobbled Sacramento Kings. With less experience, it's going to take tremendous games from De'Aaron Fox, Keegan Murray. Guys got to hit shots. You really need a lot from Keon Ellis defensively. Try to slow down a guy like Klay Thompson, who's been shooting better as of late. For me, I just have a hard time seeing the Golden State Warriors losing this game. I have a very hard time seeing that. Especially given the fact that the Golden State Warriors will literally be out of the playoff picture as soon as the buzzer hits if they happen to lose it. I just don't see them losing that situation. They've been in too many Game 7 situations. They've been in too many pressured situations. Obviously, anything could happen in a game. a guy roll an ankle, a guy get fouled out, things like that could really throw a monkey wrench in your situation, which is why you don't want to be in a one and done situation. So when you talk about basketball games, I'm keeping that in mind. Anything can happen. A guy like Davion Mitchell can go for 30 points and throw a monkey wrench in everything. You know, it's just one game. So you leave room for that anytime you talk about any one game situation. But in general, when you talk about these two teams, and you talk about what you expect from this situation, I expect the Golden State Warriors to take the victory somehow. It could be a dogfight. It could be overtime. I still expect Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and those old champs to save their season. I expect that. And I think you should as well. Sacramento's had a great year, but those injuries really hurt them. If Malik Monk and Huerter were healthy, I think they probably win this game. But I don't even think they find themselves in this game if that were the case. It's because of those injuries that they're here. And Golden State doesn't have those problems, man. And I think that could be a big problem for the Sacramento Kings. So I don't think the beam gets lit. I don't think so, man. I think Golden State prevails, and I think they move on to play the loser of the Laker-Pelicans game. Now, obviously, I'm a Laker fan, so it's not going to be very. It's not going to be a difficult thing for me to pick my Lakers in this game. Between the Lakers and the Pelicans, of course, this is this 7-8 matchup, fighting for an opportunity to play against the Denver Nuggets, defending champions. To be honest with you, the way that my team played the Pelicans tonight, earlier today, and blew them out, I just don't think that the Pelicans really have what they need to match up with us very well this season. I don't see it. Now, and again, anything can happen in a one-game situation, and the way that the Pelicans have been shooting the three versus the way the Lakers have been leaving the three open, you have to wonder if this could be a game where the Pelicans go for 25 or 33s and the Lakers leave them open. But as the Lakers have been in one-and-done situations before, obviously in the play-in tournament, they turned their game all the way up, leveled up, beat this same Pelican team by 45 points or 44 points rather. You just have to assume that the Lakers, having beaten this team today, are going to turn around on Tuesday at 4:30 and play well enough to beat them again. The Pelicans looked a little dejected to me too. They really did. They looked frustrated. They looked like they were in a space where they didn't have any answers for what the Lakers were throwing at them. And you have to wonder what the future holds if indeed they do lose this game. Now, obviously, since it's the 7-8 matchup, they'll go on to play the Golden State Warriors Sacramento winner. But I just really wonder if this team is in a space where you believe in them to elevate from here, or are they going to continue to find themselves being dejected in situations where their backs are against the wall, like they were in Vegas, like they were today. For all of the good play that they've had, having a better record than the Lakers all season long, and beating up on some of everybody as of late, coming into this game today with a 4-game winning streak, they came out and just looked like they didn't have the fight in them to play to the level necessary to meet the urgency that the Lakers provided. And that's not me talking like a fan. That's me just looking at the Pelicans saying they just didn't believe. I genuinely felt like they didn't believe. And I believe that they're more talented than they showed us today. And I don't know that they have it in them to step up into their own confidence when you got such massive superstars and an urgent team coming at them. It's not about talent. It's about belief. And it's about execution. And it's about matchups. And I just think the Lakers have that edge on this team. And I think we proved it today. And so that's my take on the Pelicans. I think the Pelicans are more than capable of playing better than they showed. Guys like Trigger Murphy and CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram could all step into their own in that one-game situation and really hurt the Lakers. But I don't know that Willie Green can wake them up to believe in that way. You know, I think that when LeBron starts flexing, AD starts flexing, they start to cower a bit. You know, Austin Reeves hitting shots, D'Lo's comfortable. I mean, we saw it all today, and I just don't think that they were able to to match that intensity, and I have no reason to believe that's going to change. Now, if the Lakers take their foot off the gas and don't play as hard as they did today, then they can get beat by anybody, and that's what the Lakers are. We've seen that all year long. But for me, it takes a certain level of doubt that you have to impose upon the Lakers. You have to make them think they can't win in order for them not to beat you. Otherwise, if they believe they have the confidence to beat you and the ability to beat you, they're going to push you over. And that's what I know about my team. We are a team that can sway with the belief, just like I'm describing in regards to New Orleans. But if you can't make us doubt, we will push you out. And that's ultimately what I see about the New Orleans Pelicans. The Lakers just seem to me to be a stronger-minded basketball team, and seem to be slightly more capable. And so if Anthony Davis is going to be healthy, he claims he's going to be fine. That back does concern me. He said it locked up on him when Larry Nance hit him in midair. I didn't see the play personally, but I heard it described. He said he's going to be fine. He'll get treatment, he'll get rest, and we'll see what happens. I think he'll be 100% for that game, or at least good enough to contribute in the way that he did today. You have to wonder about re-injury, but all in all, I think the Lakers have the confidence necessary to come into New Orleans and do this again. I really do. I don't think New Orleans has shown me anything against us that makes me think they're going to overpower us if we show up and play the way that we did today. So I'm picking the Lakers to win this game. I think the matchup is favorable to the Lakers. I don't think they're intimidated by the New Orleans crowd. I think they're motivated to face Denver and try to motivate themselves against that particular team, which I say with a whole lot of reluctance because that kind of contradicts a lot of some of the conversations that we've had. But I don't think the Lakers choose to quit against New Orleans to avoid Denver. I don't believe so. I think they see more fruit in getting into the playoffs and giving it a go against Denver than risking it a one-and-done situation against Sacramento or Golden State, of whom they've had trouble with as well. So I believe the Lakers are motivated to win this game rather than drop it. And we'll see how that actually plays out when the ball tips up. But for now, I'm picking the Lakers to win that game. And that's really what it is. It's a one-game situation. Anything can happen. I'm not cocky in this situation. I understand how well New Orleans has been playing, but I just think the matchups really favor the Lakers. And then from there, we'll see what happens. You know, obviously, we're talking about New Orleans versus Golden State. Again, one-and-done situation, anything could happen. I would imagine Golden State would win that game. You know what I mean? I'm just going to tell y'all like that. I would imagine Golden State wins that game. But I will say this. When it comes to the Golden State Warriors, they have disappointed a lot of the time this year, just like the Lakers have found themselves disappointing a lot. But Golden State even more. They've dropped games you don't expect them to drop. They've played poorly and had 3-4-11 from behind the arc. Klay Thompson games. All year long, these type of games have been rearing their ugly head and hurting the team. I don't know how much confidence I should really have in the Golden State Warriors, is what I'm telling you guys. I believe they have the roster. I believe they have the experience. But there's a trait there that makes me say I wouldn't be overly surprised if they lost a game in this play-in tournament. If they lose the Sacramento game or if they lose a game either against the New Orleans Pelicans or the Lakers, I would not be surprised if they dropped out before making the playoffs, because it's just how they've been in certain situations this season. Salute the Kobe minute. I just am not 100% sure my confidence in the Warriors is valid, is what I'm telling y'all. I'm a little on the fence about them. So that's my take on the play-in tournament. Those are my predictions of the play-in tournament. We'll see how things shake out. Obviously, if they go the other way, if Chicago wins, the game in Atlanta is forced to play the loser of the loser of Miami and Philly it changes my predictions, obviously, because I don't really know how I feel about that, or the other way around. However I predicted it, I assumed that Atlanta was going to win that Chicago game. If for some reason Chicago wins that game, it could change some things. So, you know, all these things have to do with what happens with the first game, and then we'll see from there. But those are my predictions for now, man. I'm just going to go with the Atlanta Hawks beating the Chicago Bulls, sending them home. Miami getting beat by the Philadelphia 76ers and going on to play the Hawks. And of course the Lakers going on to play the Nuggets. And the Warriors beating the Sacramento Kings, with New Orleans and the Golden State Warriors playing for their lives, as to which I will say the Warriors will win, but a part of me actually wants to pick the Pelicans to win that game just because of how weird Golden State's season has been. So I hope I didn't confuse everybody. I know I misspoke quite a bit, but that's my play-in tournament predictions. We'll see how it shakes out. As a Laker fan, I want nothing more than to beat the Pelicans and to face the Denver Nuggets, because I don't want to be in a one-and-done situation. But if you guys have been following me close enough, if we get ousted out of this tournament, there is a silver lining for me, and that is a lottery pick that I think could help our franchise. So I'm not going to cry a million rivers if we do get ousted, but I will be severely disappointed at this point, because we really do have our eyes set on the playoffs and we want to be there. And we believe we could beat the New Orleans Pelicans. So that's really what it's about, man. Hopefully our team can get that done as a fan. But I do wish all the teams well. And we'll talk about the playoffs in the coming hours and coming days. But for now, that will do it for my predictions for the play-in tournament. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching, and I'm out.